What was your initial reaction to Rodgers' sound?
He already gone, y'all. He's already gone. And this is not something new for me. Like, I've been screaming this for a while, but when you think about what he said, he drew an absolute line in the sand. And I think that was more telling than anything when he separated the team and the coaching staff from the front office. It's one thing that doesn't usually change in the NFL, and that's the people that are in charge. And obviously, Green Bay has a different ownership structure, but Mark Murphy is still there. And obviously, Brian Gutekunst, who seems to be the main problem as far as Aaron Rodgers with the Green Bay Packers. But this reminds me of a bunch of movies, a bunch of sitcoms that I've watched. And when they finally get to the divorce proceedings, either the woman or the man says, I divorced you a long time ago. We just had to go through the legal part of it. And that's what Green Bay is waiting on. They just waiting on the legal part of this thing to go through. And they need to try to figure out a trade partner and get some compensation for Aaron Rodgers because he's out of there, bro.
And Kimberly, I know when we talked at the meeting earlier, you talked about this situation and the words he said that were so damning for you. What stood out most for you?
Yeah, Ryan, the fact that he mentioned the culture and he talked about when people focus so much on business, they forget about the people. They forget that the people actually make this building. It's not just business and transactions. I thought that was damning because that, again, to Marcus's point, speaks to the front office. It speaks to something bigger than his teammates and his coaching staff and whether he wants to be there. Watching Matt LaFleur talk just now, I had to laugh because he's saying Aaron knows how much we care about him. Literally, Aaron Rodgers was just on SportsCenter talking about how he does not feel loved or cared for or how he doesn't feel appreciated. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? It's just madness to me at this point. But I will say, I did talk to one NFL source who said, look, if how do you fix this? If the GM is not calling Aaron Rodgers and offering him guaranteed money and Julio Jones, then they need to just trade him by June 1st because he's not coming back. But other people around the league and other teams still say the Packers are the ones with the leverage. We'll see about that.
Okay, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But, Jeff, I want to ask you your reaction to these comments, especially within the context of we've heard so many players talk about, hey, it's a business when they're moving on. But it seems like for Aaron Rodgers, it's not necessarily just about it being a business.
Listen, you hear teams, Ryan, often say it's just a business, it's not personal. Well, let me help every fan who's a fan of the NFL or any sport. It is personal. It's 100% personal. This is his livelihood. 100%. He has been in Green Bay 16 plus years. He goes to the same locker room. And let me explain what a locker room feels like when you're in the NFL. It's like a cubicle, y'all. Like every time you go to the equipment room, every time you go to the training room, every time you go to the training table, you're going to eat. These things are being discussed because you've seen these guys. You have intimate relationships with these guys. Man, they're your friends. You're doing life with them, right? They're hanging out with you. All of these relationships have been building and fostering for 16 plus years. When the conversation wasn't had last year from the Packers to Aaron Rodgers about what the future looked like, it was a death nail for this relationship. Now, do I think that he's out the door? I do not. I disagree with Swagoo on that front. But I will say this, from the Packers' perspective, they have got to make this about relationship. Get back to the point of, hey, man, we blew it. We didn't do this right. We didn't handle this right. Make it public apology about, hey, how we've handled the situation because we do care more about the relationship and the long-term value of this football team than just our next draft pick. And that's what has to be done if they have any hope of getting this relationship fixed.
Okay, so speaking of salvaging it, and Kimberly, I want to come back to something you said. You said you've spoken to people around the league and that some still think the team has more leverage here. So if Aaron Rodgers really wants out, how is that going to happen?
So Aaron Rodgers could play this out and say, I'm not going back to Green Bay. I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to retire. I'm just not going to play this year, which the Packers, I'm told they can hold firm and they can say, okay, bet. then sit there. But we're coming after the money that we've given you. And as much as, when I talk to people around the league, they say, well, as much as Aaron has the money, does anybody want to pay millions of dollars back to the team that gave him all that money?
Right.
No. So here's the issue. How far does Aaron want to take this? Because he can say, I'm not coming back. And they can decide to trade him or just say, okay, give us money. But neither situation is what any of us wants to see.
Go ahead, Marcus.
I just have a question for my counterparts. Everybody keeps talking about the money that you need. He ain't talked about money one time. Aaron Rodgers ain't said nothing about I want some more money. I need a commitment from the Green Bay Packers. Everybody keep talking about money. I have looked at this situation play out. Aaron Rodgers ain't worried about the money. If he is worried about the money, that was an easy fix. That would be so easy for Green Bay to do. Matt LaFleur on TV crying damn near, talking about we just trying to get him back in the building. If all it took was money, he'll be back in the building, y'all. This ain't just about money. Aaron Rodgers, to me, feels like he done dug in and he ain't coming out until he come out with a new uniform on.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.